Hi folks, it's Jake from Prime Revolution, and we're going to do a bit of a running series this week. So we're going to look at the difference between jogging and running. So jogging is something we see a lot of people do these days, and it's inherently quite an inefficient movement. So we're going to encourage you to stop jogging altogether and get you running, get you improving those times, and hopefully avoid some more of these injuries that you often see a lot of joggers have. So this week we're going to talk about the difference between your foot strike. So a little bit later we'll show you a video, slow-mo, of a difference between jogging and running. So I'm just going to take you through what I want you to look at when we get the slow-mo on. So looking down at your feet, we see a lot of joggers strike with their heel. What this does is it causes quite a bit of impact. So that force then gets translated down into your knee, your hip, your lower back, and can lead to a few injuries, shin splints, quite a few different problems. And the only reason we can do this is because we're running in trainers these days. So I'm not necessarily suggesting that you ditch your trainers and you go barefoot, but you can change how you strike the floor. So what we want to look at doing is landing more on your forefoot or midfoot. So when you land, you're initially not striking with your heel. Again, if you think of it, every time you strike with your heel, you're coming to a complete stop, and then you're going to have to generate that energy every step, which is very inefficient. So if you're looking at improving those times for any 10Ks or something you've got coming up, you really want to get out the habit of heel striking. So with reducing the heel strike, you're going to have to reduce your stride length somewhat and keep your feet underneath you a little bit more. By doing this, landing on your toes, you're going to be loading your calf and storing energy in your calf, which you can then use to propel you forwards, so it's a lot more energy efficient. So when you start to run like this, you are going to find your calves are going to tire considerably. So don't expect that you're necessarily going to be able to run the same distance that you were jogging before. So I want to take you through a few stretches that you can do to help warm you up and prepare you for this, because this week, these next couple of weeks, I want you to really focus on your forefoot strike as opposed to your heel strike. So I'm going to take you through a few exercises. One that we want to do is a calf stretch. So you want to get your heel as close to a wall as possible, or a pillar, and then you want to drive your body and your hips as close to the wall as you possibly can. So you should feel a stretch all the way down your calf when you do this. I want you to hold this for a good 2 minutes, and then I want you to also do it for 2 minutes with your knee slightly bent, so it's not just stretching your gastroc, it's stretching your soleus, which is the muscle that lays just underneath. Another thing that you're going to have to work on is the mobility within the forefoot. So all the bones in the middle of your foot, they help absorb some of that shock. If they're stiff because they've been stuck in some rigid shoes for most of your life, then you're going to have to start to free those up. So getting a lacrosse ball, cricket ball, hockey ball, tennis ball, you name it, the firmer generally the better. What you want to do, standing up or sitting down, you can take this into work underneath the desk and be rolling your foot on the ball, and what you're doing is you're loosening off the fascia underneath your foot and mobilizing all the bones there. So there's 2 exercises to try. Take a look at the video for the slow-mo shortly afterwards, and really take a look at the difference between the forefoot strike and the heel strike. I must admit, when we filmed this, I did find it quite difficult to strike with my heel, so bear that in mind, but you may find that you have to run for a certain length, stop and walk until you've recovered, and then go again and really reduce that distance and start to build that back up with a much better technique. You should avoid a lot more injuries. See how you get on. Any problems, you can contact us. The contact details will be below the link on the video, and happy running.